Welcome class 12th. Here I am going to begin chapter 4 on the face of it from your supplementary reader, Vista's English book. This is a play written by Susan Hill. Here we are going to start second part of the chapter on the face of it. Let's start. Children, as you've come to know the play on the face of it, it featured an old man and a small boy. Both met in the garden of the former one, that is Mr. Lamb. Both suffer from physical impairment. But we come to know how Mr. Lamb, though he is old, crippled person, he was enjoying his life at the fullest. But on the contrary, Daddy, who is just 14 years old boy, with one side of his face. On the contrary, a 14-year-old boy, Daddy felt defiant and withdrawn. When by chance Daddy went inside Mr. Lamb's garden, thinking that no one was over there and it was a deserted garden. There, the old man found the boy was suffering with the feelings of disappointment and isolation. He also noticed that Daddy was overconscious about his face. He thought his face looked terrible and it was the ugliest thing in the world because due to some acid accident, one part of his face was burnt. It was for this reason the people got afraid of the boy and were not associating freely with him. They often pitied, ridiculed, and shunned this boy. When Mr. Lamb also did not ask the boy the reason behind his disfigured face. He was surprised. He thought Mr. Lamb was also like other people. However, Mr. Lamb replied that he loved everything that is a part of the creation of God. He said he did not make any difference even between plants. So here he gave the example of the weed. He asked Daddy why one green plant is called weed, that is a waste plant, and another a flower. He said we have to love everything that is created by the God, as there is life in everything. He said even there is no difference between Daddy and Lamb himself. Mr. Lamb, where is the difference? It's all life growing, same as you and me. Daddy, we are not the same. Mr. Lamb, I'm old, you are young, you've got a burnt face. I've got a thin leg, not important. You're standing there, I'm sitting here. Where is the difference? And Mr. Lamb was telling the boy that there was no difference in the things created by God. Everything is same. It is only the mentality and the attitude of the people which created the difference in the things. Otherwise, he said no difference between the wheat or flour or even this boy, Daddy, and he himself. But Daddy did not agree here with Mr. Lamb. He said how we could be the same. Mr. Lamb replied that there was no difference. Only the difference was that he was old and the boy was young. And the boy had got a burnt face and he had a thin leg, that means artificial leg. But he said these things are not important. He said, see that the boy was standing there and he himself was sitting there. He said, what is the difference? We are the same. That means, he said, there is no difference between the creation of human beings, as everyone has life. Daddy, why have you got a thin leg? Now the daddy became sympathetic. He asked Mr. Lamb what happened with his leg, how he had lost it. Mr. Lamb, real one got blown off years back. Lay me lamb, some kids say. Haven't you heard them? You will. Lamey lamb. It fits, doesn't trouble me. Children, one-legged person is called lame. So here this nickname, Lamey lamb, is used for Mr. Lamb. Here it is explained that Mr. Lamb replied to the boy that one of his legs had got damaged during some bomb explosion in the war times that happened many years ago. He said that's why small children used to tease him with the nickname Lamey Lamb. He said he didn't mind. He was never hurt because it suits him. And exactly he was lame person. Daddy, but you can put on trousers and cover it up and no one sees. They don't have to notice and stare. Stare means gaze. At this, Daddy made the excuse why Mr. Lamb was not hurt due to his deformity. He said he could wear the trousers and could hide his injury and damage from the world. So no one gazed and looked at his physical deformity. That's why Mr. Lamb did not mind. But his injury is open and it is well visible to everyone. That's why the people stared at him. And that was a very bad experience and feeling for the boy. Mr. Lamb, some do, some don't. They get tired of it. In the end, there is plenty of other things to stare at. As we have come to know, Mr. Lamb is quite optimistic man, so he tried to motivate the boy here by saying that why did he got hurt. However, Mr. Lamb replied that the people surely would be looking at his face and would be gazing, but there would be some who won't be doing so. So the boy had to think that way. Then, as Mr. Lamb was the optimistic man, here he tried to console the boy by saying that in the end the people would get tired to look at his face, as there are plenty of beautiful things in the life to gaze at. So they would fed up to look at his face and would put their attention to the other beautiful things of the life. So the boy did not have to feel bad. Daddy, like my face? Mr. Lamb, like crab apples, or the weeds, or a spider climbing up a silken ladder, or my tall sunflowers. Here the boy showed his ugly face. He asked Mr. Lamb if there were ugly things like him in the world. To this, Mr. Lamb replied, of course. Then he gave the examples of crab apples, weeds, and the ugly spider climbing up on the silken ladder, and the tall sunflowers. So the old man said, the people looked at all these other things and gaze and discuss about them, as they are also important. Daddy, things. However, the boy raised his objection and commented whatever the list had been just spoken by Mr. Lamb. They were all about the things. That means they are non-living things. He said they could not speak and say about their sufferings. Mr. Lamb, it is all relative, Beauty and the Beast. Daddy, what is that supposed to mean? Mr. Lamb, you tell me. At this, Mr. Lamb replied that all the things are related to each other, whether they are living or the non-living things. Then he gave the example of the fairy tale of Beauty and the Beast. He wanted to show that there is a relation of beautiful creation to the ugliness. So that's why he had given the reference of this fairy tale. But Daddy was confused. He wanted the clarification. What did Mr. Lamb want to say? But here, Mr. Lamb asked the boy that first he gave his opinion about the story. What did he understand? The meaning and the message from the story. Daddy, you need not think. they have not all told me that fairy story before. It is not what you look like, it is what you are inside. Handsome is as handsome does. The boy was filled with bitterness and replied that the old man should not think that he had not ever told this fairy tale of Beauty and the Beast ever from his elders. He knew even the message that it is the inner beauty that is the real beauty and it only matters in man's life. He said, even he knew that handsome is that does the handsome thing. That means the person is only that beautiful who does the good things. Beauty loved the monstrous beast for himself, and when she kissed him, he changed into a handsome prince. Only he would have stayed a monstrous beast. I won't change. Then he further mentioned the story of the Beauty and the Beast. He said, in that tale, a beautiful girl loved an ugly looking beast. And when the girl kissed this ugly looking beast, he was converted into the handsome looking prince. But here he replied sorrowfully, that could happen only in the fairy tale, but it won't happen with the boy. He won't change. He explained, if the beautiful girl had not touched and kissed the ugly looking beast, he would have remained the same. That's why he said he was not going to change, as nobody was going to fall in love with this ugly looking boy. Mr. Lamb, in that way, no, you won't. Mr. Lamb was moved to hear the miseries of this boy. He said he should not think like this. Daddy, and no one will kiss me, only my mother, and she kisses me on the other side of my face. And I don't like my mother to kiss me. She does it because she has to. Why should I like that? I don't care if nobody ever kisses me. Once again, the boy started sharing his sufferings before Mr. Lamb. He said no one in the world loved him. No one kissed him. He said that only his mother, she loved him and kissed him, but on the other side, which was not affected by the acid. She had to, because she was the mother of this child. Just like every parent, she also loved her child whether he was looking ugly. But he said that even he did not bother. The people are not loving and kissing him. Mr. Lamb, but do you care if you never kiss them? Daddy, what? Mr. Lamb, girls, pretty girls, long hair and large eyes, people you love. Here, Mr. Lamb. Present. Mr. Lamb, but do you care if you never kiss them? Daddy, what? Mr. Lamb, girls, pretty girls, long hair and large eyes, people you love. Here, Mr. Lamb understood the pain of this boy, though the boy was pretending he was not disturbed, but he understood his miseries. He consoled the boy by saying, if the people were not loving him, had the boy ever tried to love the people and kiss them? Our daddy was here surprised to hear Mr. Lamb's suggestions. He asked who would give him such permission. To this, Mr. Lamb replied that beautiful girls with long hair and big eyes, the people whom he should love. Here, he wanted to say, Daddy should make show of his love before the people. Then, definitely, they would also respond him back. Daddy, who would let me? Not one. Mr. Lamb, who can tell? Once again, Daddy refused and denied. At this suggestion, he said nobody could give him such permission. Mr. Lamb replied that it was unpredictable. He had to try. He had to make sure of his loving feelings before the people. definitely he would get the positive response. Daddy, I won't ever look different when I am as old as you. I will look the same. I will still only have half a face. The boy here replied and lamented about his pain. He said to Mr. Lamb that when he would grow old, like him, he would look same. There would be no change in his face. He had to live and die with the same burnt face, as there would be no change in his face. Mr. Lamb, so you will, but the world won't. The world's got a whole face, and the world's there to be looked at. However, here Mr. Lamb agreed that the boy would always have the half face, but he tried to console the boy by saying he had though the half face, but this world had the complete face. He said there are many complete and perfect things in the life, so the boy could make recovery of his own deformity by looking at them. Daddy, do you think this is the world, this old garden? Mr. Lamb, when I am here, not the only one, but the world as much as anywhere. One, Mr. Lamb suggested the boy that he should see the beautiful things and the people of this world. Daddy was surprised. He asked Mr. Lamb what he thought this was the whole world, his old garden, as the boy's experience about this world was very terrible. According to him, all the worldly people are very cruel. Mr. Lamb then gave the advice to the boy that when he was standing there in his garden, he should only think about that. That means when he was present in the garden, he should think the garden was the whole world. Why? Then the boy was thinking and hurting himself, thinking about the cruel world and the people. Daddy, does your leg hurt you? Mr. Lamb, tin does not hurt. Why? Daddy, when it came off, did it? Mr. Lamb, certainly. Right now, the boy got impressed to hear the wonderful talks of this old man. He also became sympathetic for the pains of this old man. He inquired from Mr. Lamb if he got any pain in his artificial leg. To this, Mr. Lamb replied that the tin of his artificial leg did not hurt. But again, he inquired more. Whenever this tin got displaced in the joint, there would be surely the pain in his leg. Mr. Lamb, certainly. Daddy, and now I mean where the tin stops, at the top. Mr. Lamb, now and then, in wet weather, it does not signify. Daddy, oh, that is something else. They all say wet weather, that means rainy season. One, Daddy was inquiring that whenever the artificial leg got displaced from the point of the joint, whether it pained. Mr. Lamb replied, of course. Then he asked further that at the point where the artificial leg is sticking to his body, then he had over there any pain? To this, Mr. Lamb replied that sometimes it pained, and more often in the times of the rainy season. And it did not matter, as he didn't bother about that pain. Daddy, oh, that's something else they all say. Look at all those who are in pain and brave and never cry and never complain and don't feel sorry for themselves. However, the boy here was moved to hear the pain of Mr. Lamb. He tried to console him by saying that in such situations, the people used to give advices to the physically impaired persons that they should look at those peoples who are also physically impaired, but they are in more worse condition than to them. So they have to try to tolerate their pains and sufferings, and they have to show their courage and very bravely they have to face the situation without any cry and without any complaint and without feeling sorry about their condition. So, very strongly they have to face their physical impairments and weaknesses. Mr. Lamb, I have not said it. To this, Mr. Lamb replied that when he was complaining, he was not feeling sorry for his physical impairment. Daddy, and think of all those people worse off than you. Think you might have been blinded or born deaf or have to live in a wheelchair or be daft in your head and dribble. Daft, that means foolish or silly. Dribble, that means to run in mouth. The boy suggested Mr. Lamb had to compare and think about the more critical situations the people are undergoing and struggling in their lives. He also advised Mr. Lamb that he should assume that he would have been blinded in the war and would have born deaf, or in the war he might have lost both his legs, or he had lost his brain and even lost his mental level, and would have gone to that condition that he would have lost his senses and even was dripping the saliva from his mouth. Mr. Lamb, that's all true. You know it. Now Mr. Lamb became very happy to know that the boy understand these realities of the life. Daddy, it won't make my face change. Do you know? One day a woman went by me in the street. I was at a bus stop and she was with another woman. And she looked at me and she said, whispered, only I heard her. She said, look at that. That's a terrible thing. That's a face only a mother could love. After looking at his ugly and terrible face, that lady whispered to the another lady with the comment that only a mother could love such a terrible face. Not anyone else could do. After hearing their talk, Derry said he was very much stressed. Mr. Lamb, so you believe everything you heard then? Mr. Lamb hereby tried to console the boy by saying that why did he hear the talks of the other? And there is no need to over stress yourself by hearing the people. He advised there is no need to over stress oneself by hearing the talks of the other. Daddy, it was cruel. Mr. Lamb maybe not meant as much. Mr. Lamb, so you believe everything you hear? Then, Daddy, it was cruel. Mr. Lamb maybe not meant as such, just something said between them. Here, Mr. Lamb, he advised the boy why he was trusting in the talks of the people. He had to ignore the comments of the people. But to this, the boy replied, it was really bad and hurting comment. Again, Mr. Lamb, he tried to explain and console the boy by saying that the ladies might not be hurting the boy. He had to think that it was the common talk between the people, and thinking this, he had to avoid the talks of the people. Daddy, only I heard it. I heard, Mr. Lamb, and this is that the only thing you ever heard anyone say in your life? Suggested the boy to shut his ears about all the hurting comments. However, the boy replied that he heard himself, their talk. That's why he was hurt and feeling pain. To this, Mr. Lamb replied that this was the only thing he had ever heard in his life, nothing else. So why? He was taking this thing seriously. Daddy, oh no, I have heard a lot of things. Daddy here replied, Yes, he had, of course, heard many other things in the life. Not only this stressful talk. Mr. Lamb, so now you keep your ears shut. Daddy here replied that he had heard himself all the talk. It was really insulting and hurting. At this, Mr. Lamb asked the boy if this was the only talk he had ever heard in the life, nothing else. To this, the boy replied, Of course, he had heard many things in his life beside this hurting comment of the ladies. Mr. Lamb, so now you keep your ears shut. Here, Mr. Lamb gave suggestion to the boy that he should now shut his ears for all the useless talks of the people. He should ignore their talks. Daddy, you are peculiar. You say peculiar things. You ask questions I don't understand. Peculiar, that means strange, uncommon. Such advice, Daddy found the old man to be really a strange man. He commented about Mr. Lamb that he was really a peculiar sort of man. And the things and the questions which he asked, really, it was beyond the understanding of the boy. Mr. Lamb, I like to talk, have company. You don't have to answer questions. You don't have to stop here at all. The gate is open. To this, the old man replied that he liked talking to the people. He liked the company of everyone. He said there was no need of the boy to answer all the questions. He said if he did not want to stop there in his garden, he could leave as the gates are always open. Yes, Daddy, but to this, Daddy refused. He did not want to leave. He wanted to listen something more. Mr. Lamb, I have a hive of bees behind those trees over there. Some hear bees and they say bees buzz. But when you listen to bees for a long while, they hum, and hum means sing. I hear them singing my bees. Of bees, that means habitation of bees. We can say this is the home of bees. Hum, that means singing. However, Mr. Lamb here informed the boy that there was a beehive in one of the trees in his garden. He said, when we asked the people about this buzzing sound of the bees, they replied that the bees produce disturbance and noise by producing such buzzing sounds. But also, Mr. Lamb informed that when we continuously hear the sound of the bees, we found that the bees were creating the musical sound. So this turned to be the music instead of giving us the disturb. Here, he also informed the boy that Mr. Lamb personally liked the musical sound of the bees. Daddy, but I like it here. I came in because I like it when I looked over the wall. Now, at this point, the boy started showing his interest and liking. With Mr. Lamb, he told him he also liked the buzzing sound of the bees. That's why he had got inside the garden. He said he used to look at the side over the wall from outside. Mr. Lamb, if you had seen me, you don't have come in. Daddy, no. Mr. Lamb, no. To this, Mr. Lamb inquired from the boy if he had seen him inside, he would never have come. Daddy replied, it won't be so. Mr. Lamb, no. Daddy, it would have been trespassing. Trespassing is illegal thing. That means when you intrude or enter into some private property without the owner's permission. However, Daddy replied if he had entered into his property, that means into his garden, without his permission. It would be illegal. That's why he would not have come inside. Mr. Lamb, that's not why. Daddy, I don't like being near people when they stare, when I see them being afraid of me. However, Mr. Lamb here did not agree with the reason mentioned by the boy. He said, I didn't agree. To this, Daddy said, in fact, he did not like going near the people as they got afraid of him to see his face. He replied he did not like going near the people, especially, he said, when he found that the people were gazing him. And after looking at his terrible face, they got afraid. He said to experience this feeling, he did not like to be mixed up with the people. He avoided them. Thus he could not bear that the people got frightened to have his glimpse. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you have well understood the explanation.